Ian, water under the bridge since the weekend, and obviously you weren't happy with the way that the goals were conceded. There's been plenty of discussion about that.
Yeah, we've gone through them and we've looked at them and analysed it, and we were a little bit short on, literally short on some of the passes, but no, I think the players recognise where the mistakes led. We understand that we can't be out of games. We're putting ourselves in a hole very early on in games at the moment, and we've got to eradicate that. And we're getting punished for every mistake we're making, but we've got to cut out the mistakes.
As you say, it's given you so much work to do, isn't it? You know, after 15 minutes, 2-0 down at Easton.
Yeah, which is not the easiest place to go, by the way. I mean, just missing out in the playoffs last year. And Ben's he's got another good squad there, so once they start to kick in, there'll be a force. But I must commend the players at how well they responded second half. I mean, we really did take the game to them, and having looked at the game afterwards, it was a really dominant performance in possession of the ball. We know we're lacking a little bit in forward areas at the moment, and the final third and the end product, but we'll get there as this season rolls on. We'll get there, and we'll get that right as well.
And up front already issues, haven't you? Because you've had a suspension and now you picked up an injury, so after 4 games you're facing problems.
Yes, yeah. I mean, it's we thought it was a poor one on with Goldie, but the diagnosis is not as bad as we initially thought. So he's still going to be out for a number of weeks, but it's a lot shorter than what we first initially thought of. So no, that's a positive, and then the other positive is having Junior back in with us. He's been very loud this week, so we'll welcome him back in. And now we've got another weapon in Zane coming on board, who's a really talented player, really talented. And so we're very lucky to have him as well for a month, and we'll see what he can bring for us.
What will he add to the side?
Well, he's a carrier of the ball, and we've missed that with Kingy. We've got Joe that can carry the ball, and Mickey can carry the ball as well. But we've missed someone that can actually get hold of the ball and run at defences. And if we have as many weapons as that, then we would cause problems. Especially in that final third is where we're lacking. Because at the moment we've got to score a perfect goal. You know, where we're playing all right through the thirds, and it's up to that final third that we're just missing some creativity. And hopefully he'll bring that along with Joe as well.
We were talking beforehand that last year the wing play was no problem, was it? But
no.
There seems to be a lack this season.
Yeah, well, we've changed the system and we're playing with the wing backs there. We're asking a lot of Ross and Dents at the moment, but they're doing a great job for us. But we're just missing that cutting edge at the top where we can slide down the sides, or someone can take someone on in that final third. We're getting a lot of balls in front of defenders, where as in this league, if we can get behind the defences and put balls being there, it's not very nice with defenders running back to their own goal. We haven't really done that consistently enough yet.
I know the forward men haven't had a chance yet because of suspension and injury, but the goals are coming from mainly midfield at the moment, but at least that's a positive.
Oh, massively, and they responded really well. First half, I thought we sat a little bit too deep, and everything that went into the box fell to them coming out. Second half, we pushed up 10 yards, and we was on top of it, and that's where the goals come from. Mike got on one, good finish, took a slight deflection, so that's an own goal, which you won't like. But and then Ethan drove really well, and so they're getting on there. They was getting in good areas. As long as we can play high up the field, it's really massive to us. Even though we like to play out from the back and play through the thirds, we need to get that second ball higher up.
And it's now trying to open your account on home turf, isn't it? You know, a couple of defeats so far. Cameras there as well.
Yeah, it's a great game for us. I mean, the Dagenham are flying, really are flying, and we've looked at a few of their games. And they're a really good side, a powerful side. Lots of experience, which we haven't got, but it will be a test for us. And what's a pleasing thing, we've been in every game so far. We haven't buckled, we haven't laid down, and even though we've lost a couple here, we've been in games. You know, we took Southend, and we had a couple of good chances towards the end there. All right, Chesterfield, we were lacking in that final third again, but when we looked at the game back, there weren't a lot in it. There really weren't a lot in it. And so that's the pleasing thing, and that's all I can ask us to be as competitive as we can in every game, and we have been so far.
In the short time that you have been full-time, have you personally noticed the difference in the players and the way that they react, etc.?
Yeah, the tight-knit group very, very quickly, where before if it would have been a Tuesday and Thursday evening, that would have took a longer time to gel. But they're a good group, they're very jolly amongst each other. They're obviously living in the accommodation as well helps, because they're 24/7 with each other. But it's massive, that contact time you can have with them and the things you can work with, you can do it in different units, is massive to us. And I feel we'll benefit that, and as the season progresses, you'll see that come to the forefront.
And I know we've spoken about team spirit ever since you've been here, and talking to Brett after the game, he said, I've only been here a week and yet I feel as though I've been here an awful long time. So that's credit to you and the rest of the squad. But it takes the right player to come to Lynn, doesn't it, from your point of view?
I think that's what we've always looked at, the characters. So you do your due diligence in what the background's like and the character within the dressing room and that. But we've always had it here, even previous. If you create the right environment, they can grow within it, and we've been very lucky here that we've got the right players in that's really took on board what we're trying to do here and taken on the philosophy and how we want to play and the environment that we're trying to create. And they set their own standards on the training field, which are high, and the intensity of sessions is very, very good. And that's all we can ask for. And like I've always said, we ain't got a lot to offer them, but what we can do is give them a platform to go and play and create that environment which they can grow and grow. So yeah, that's what we're trying to do.
What would be nice soon is for Lynn to score first, wouldn't it? Because you're always on the back foot.
I know, just give us something that we can get hold of and get ourselves into the game. Which it's funny, the first 10-15 minutes of any game that we play, we always say this playing their half, we're giving away silly goals at the moment, but we'll get there. We'll get there. I have great faith in this group that we'll keep learning and keep growing as the season goes along.
You've got some hell of a young players in the squad, haven't you?
Yeah.
How have they been getting on with each other on and off the pitch?
Brilliant, really, really good. I'm quite surprised how quickly they've gelled together and they've formed bonds and friendships. But again, that helps being in full time because even when training finishes, they're an hour, 2 hours sitting in the canteen and enjoying going over things, talking about different things as well. So the social side of it is massive, really is massive to us. And they go out to restaurants together as well. They've really gelled really, really quickly, and that's the benefit. That's the benefit. It's probably an unseen benefit you get because obviously people concentrate on the training aspect of it, but it's the social side of it as well because a lot of young boys have moved from the home where they're in an environment where they're familiar, and you've been asked to put them in with 3 or 4 others, all in the same boat, and they've gelled really, really quickly.
I mean, I know you don't like to pick individuals out, but Joe Rowley has really impressed me the first few games. I mean, even when he came in, you missed him against Chesterfield, didn't you? Yes,
yeah, because he's a carrier of the ball and he asks questions of defenders, which is really massive to us. And again, just come in from a big club like Chesterfield, and then he seems to be enjoying the environment. He really does. And the more games he play, the fitter he'll get, and you'll see the best of him. And he walks around with a smile on his face, which is nice to see.
Zane, was that his first training session
yes,
with us today? Yeah. How did he go?
Impressive, really quick feet. Got that hunger as well, that he wants to come and do well and show what he's all about. And that's our motto really, just come and play and show what a good player you are. We'll give you that freedom to go and do it. And he looks an exciting prospect, very quick feet, likes to go with the ball as well. So it'd be interesting to see what he's like in a game environment.
Are you able to give us any update on Cameron King? Because I've heard various reports that he might be back in a couple of weeks, and I've heard other reports that he might be out longer term. What's the situation?
He's got his diagnosis on the 11th this month, so hopefully he's gone to see the specialist and we'll know a clearer picture of where he is and what he can do. So we're hoping for a good report back. hopefully it's not the worst, but we've got our fingers crossed on that, so we'll hopefully by the end of the week we'll know.
Because if you had him back, it's going to be like a new signing again, isn't
Well,
it?
we know what he can do. He's another really talented player, and we've had to be very patient with him, and he understands that, and he's frustrated as well. But we've got to know what the problem is. That's the main thing before he goes forward anymore.
Has he still been coming along to the training to watch the lads, or has he?
No, he's kept away because obviously the frustration in there. But he's wished them well in every game because they've got the WhatsApp group. So he's been in constant contact with the players there, and we're just hoping that when he comes back in, it's good news.
Okay.
Just for me on the crowd, you've had two big crowds, but dominated by away fans.
Yeah.
I think there's a handful of tickets have been sold and they're bringing the coach, Dagenham.
Yeah.
Obviously it's on telly.
Yeah.
Is that actually, I know you like it rocking, but it's going to be a welcome for the cameras because you'll have the majority backing will be
Yeah, it
your
should
own.
be ours, yeah.
You know, I mean, you need to get this monkey off your back, almost.
Yeah.
Small monkey.
Yeah.
You get the home win, don't you?
Yeah. It's the two games we've had, it felt like away games, especially the first one. They outnumbered us 3-1, I think it was in the end. But it's a shame that, and it's hard because the world's still in a little bit of recovery mode at the moment, and it's been hard on people to fork out to come. So I understand everyone's problems, but it'd be lovely to get this place rocking. It really would. I understand we have to give them something to shout about. I really do, and we'll try our utmost. But it'd be lovely to have the majority of the crowd here getting right behind us, because as I've said before, we've gone really deep in games where we've needed them, and they've carried us. They really have, and the players respond from it. Once this place, especially this stand, gets rocking, it's a nice place to play. It really is.
I suppose the longer you go on, I'm not predicting anything bad, but the longer you go on without a home win, it starts to eat into you, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I think this place has always been a bit of a fortress, and to start off with, even though the opposition that we've played are a lot bigger than us, it's there, you know, and we've got to get that initial first win, and that will kick us on.
Just going back to Gold and Junior, I mean, they were, when we were talking about the year two wingers, were almost a focal point. They were a focal point this season. So a sense of frustration that in 4 matches you've only had them an hour, and now we've probably got a few weeks where you haven't got your prize boys up front. Yeah,
because there was a lot of expectation put on them too, because that big man, small one, carrying on from the last two we've had obviously as well. And what I saw in training excited us because the partnership and combination work was really coming on. And then to lose one at one time and then another one now, it's a bit frustrating. But it's like the old saying, next man up. You know, we're missing the big man because I mean a lot of people just look at what he's trying to do at the top end, and we know that's not there yet. But what he's given us in our own box and defending set plays at the moment has been outstanding. And I don't think people, with all due respect, see that side. They look at one end and not the other end, and he's been colossal for us at this end at the moment.
Did that easily, didn't he?
Yeah,
Tremendous. Yeah.
Magnificent. And obviously we like him that end and scoring goals and getting the headlines there, but he's been a hell of an asset for us at the other end as well.
Is I mean, okay, you've got Zane in. Are there any more that might come in? Would you think about getting a short term on a
We still like to get one more in at the top end because we've only got the two, Linz and Junior. So we're actively looking for someone there, but budget-wise, counts.
They're the cheap ones as well.
Yeah, I know, because everyone's looking for that 25, and then they cost bundles of money. And you've seen some of the clubs what they've gone out and spent this year and what they're paying them. And I'm afraid we're way down the bracket there. So, but we'll keep looking. We'll keep looking, and hopefully one will walk past.
Just one more from me quickly. From what you've seen, I know it's still early days, but do you think it's a tougher league this season than it was last season?
I think the majority of the bigger clubs are going for it this year. I think a lot of people, they're talking about a salary cap being introduced in a year's time. And so I don't know, it's only my opinion, if they're throwing a lot of money at this year to get to that promised land. So I'm looking at them, and the big clubs are getting bigger and stronger, and it's leaving our poor ones away behind. But we can't worry about that. We really can't. We just got to concentrate on what we can do, and we're in our own little mini league, and we just got to make sure that we win our games that are going to affect us. And then, like I've said before, when we come to the bigger clubs, make sure we're really competitive and they know they're in the game. And so far, I've been happy with what we've produced.